Farmers! Farmers! No! 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 You didn't care when everybody else was gonna get jacked up. He already jacked you up once. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's time for you to sit in your doo-doo that you have made and deal with it. We don't want to bail you out. We don't want our tax dollars going to that. It's going to enough. We have been funding NASCAR drives. We have been funding Super Bowl. We have been funding golf trips to Mar-a-Lago and any other place that this person want to go. We're not doing it with you two. We're just not. And y'all can beg and plead. I don't think that he wants to give it to you either. Period. He wants you to go down. Your business done went belly up. They're going to buy your land up. And some of y'all may end up in the upper room. No. We vote no. No bailout for you. If they're not going to bail us out, you ain't getting bailed out either.
Wait, you mean to tell me Americans don't want to pick lettuce for $2 an hour? No. Now the farmers are crying because they can't find any workers. Ain't that something? After you pushed out all of the immigrant workers who actually did the job, now you're standing around wondering why Chet and Kaylee won't come pick your cabbage in 100-degree weather for $4.75 and a Capri Sun? Y'all really thought folks were going to jump at the chance to break their backs for pennies on a dollar. But you know what's even funnier, y'all? Some of these farmers say the American workers they do get, they don't even last the whole damn day. One guy said somebody walked off by lunch, and honestly, I support it. Listen, I wouldn't be out there picking strawberries and fighting bees and being dehydrated just so that farmer could sell those strawberries for $12.99 a box at Whole Foods. Negative. See, they've been telling you this lie for years. They took our jobs. Nah, Americans, you didn't want those jobs. You just didn't want them to have the jobs either. Now look at you, a field full of crops and not a soul to pick them. Next time, think twice before turning labor into a culture war. Because now, it's just you and your own damn tomatoes.
So them farmers really thought we was coming to get in them fields? Is that what I'm reading? Y'all really thought we was coming to get in those fields? It's funny, when black people say stuff, like over a year ago, when we said that, Donald Trump specifically saying that immigrants were coming over here to steal black jobs meant that him deporting them was supposed to open the door for us to get back in the fields. Of course, immediately, most people said, y'all are reaching. Now here we are. They are literally on Twitter, all over social media, complaining about the fact that we did not come into those fields. I get the unemployment rate is rising rapidly in the black community. I believe for us, it's about 7% compared to about 4.5% for just about any other demographic. But that also means that 93% of us have jobs. 93% of us are working. And 93% of us were never coming out into those fields to pick your stupid crops. Y'all are supposed to be the pick them up by their bootstraps people, right? Y'all are always the ones talking about earn this, that, hard work, this, that. But then y'all never want to do your own damn work. Y'all brought us over here, all right? We spent hundreds of years doing that stuff for free. We spent another 100 years after that with Jim Crow rights. We fought, bled, died, protested, did everything we possibly could to gain the rights that we have now. We live in this country, we work, we own businesses. We are not going back to your fields. Can y'all just let that shit go? Like, can y'all let it go? It ain't gonna happen. And there's nothing you're gonna do to make it happen. You don't got the numbers. You don't have the manpower. We're not going back. The experiment failed, okay? And now guess what's happening? Food is rotting in the ground because y'all really thought we was coming back out there.
Trump expected black people to fill in those positions that the illegal immigrants or the immigrants were doing in the fields. I can tell you, Mr. President, that is not fucking happening. We are not going back in the field. You could get that out your mind. You and all your Republican buddies, it's not happening. So you need to come up with a better solution for your shortage of staff. You can't pay us enough. We've been there. We've done that. Not happening. You need to figure out how to work out a path to citizenship for all these hardworking immigrants that do want to work in this country. Because there are lots of people that comes into this country that honestly want to work. Not all immigrants that's here, whether they're here legal or illegally, want to commit crime or do commit crime. Statistically proven, you have more homegrown assault on this country than anything else. Mass shooting for one. You understand? So you need to figure out something. But black people, we're not. We're not the solution to that. We're not going back. And I believe if for some reason that was ever attempted, you're going to have you a fight on your hands. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man.
Today, for the first time in years, California fields have gone silent. Rows of strawberries are untouched and vineyards are silent because the people that feed America said, this is enough. Farm workers walked off the job in Coachella, in Ventura, in Oxnard, all the way down to San Diego. Not because of the weather and not because of the pay, because of fear. Fear of ICE raids, fear of tear gas, fear of helicopters, fear for their life. Think I'm kidding? Because I'm not. Last week, unfortunately, California lost a farm worker who died running for his life. They're calling this strike Huelga para la Dignidad, which means strike for dignity. It's important to note that there's no union, no corporate America money. It's just mothers and fathers and children that are too afraid to go to school because they're not sure if they're going to be able to come home to their parents. They're asking the citizens of the United States to boycott. Don't buy any produce, don't buy any meat, and don't buy any poultry until these ICE raids stop. There needs to be a pathway to citizenship for the people that are the backbone of our food system here in the United States. So the strike started today, July 16th, and it'll go on for 2 more days, July 17th and 18th. So we need to remember that they are risking everything, and they need to know that we hear them, that we stand for immigrant justice.
And why don't I hire Americans? The simple answer is we can't get the workers. No American ever calls. No American ever shows up. That's why we are so grateful for the guys that are willing to come and do the work here on the farm. We can't do this without them.
We want to get rid of illegal immigrants, quit eating. And that's for everybody. That's, nationwide. If you want to get rid of them, quit eating. That'll solve the problem.
But when only 5 pickers showed up this morning to harvest his sweet potatoes, farmer Keith Smith saw possible ruin, the loss of his $500,000 crop.
They're running scared because of this new law.
And you're in trouble.
I'm in trouble, bad trouble.
American farmers aren't quitting. They're dying. We lose more than 300 farmers to suicide every single year in the United States. That's more than double the national average. Not because they fail, but because the system is designed to crush them.
See, the craziest thing about this entire situation is this white man is literally telling the news that his fellow white people can't work on the phones because they work after 5 minutes, they are tired. Well, I guess everybody's senses are coming back together because now you're understanding you actually need those immigrants back. Or else giving up your land to J.D. Vance because of Project 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, just when I thought it was so bad in Nebraska and Nebraskans can't stop crying over bankruptcy, looks like Oklahoma is crying as well. The funniest part of this all, everyone is wondering, where are the black farmers? How come they are not complaining? See, the thing is, black people can work on their own farms. That's facts. They can. It's just in us to work hard. And also, I think it just makes sense to actually have a business that you know knowledge of. Most especially until the groundwork. And I just feel like they were so used to the way things were done back in the day. They could just snap fingers and something is done. They just say and then something goes. They just order and then some things are done for them. Now it is so hard to assimilate in a situation of a job that you thought it was not meant for this skin. You understand what I mean? Because when you look at your skin, you think it's so powerful, it can't go down in the trenches to do certain jobs like picking potatoes and strawberries. You're just used to clicking fingers and things are done and you just pay. And now, since your rate to the season got over you and then the people that you used to snap at so they can work for you, you got them deported. Now it is so hard for you to try to do their jobs, at least until further notice. This is why you're losing business. Because the people that you used to, they're not there anymore. And I don't think this situation or this mindset has started now. This is how slavery happened. The master just orders and the black person does. Well, isn't life exciting in 2025 that now we're looking at a situation where white people need to act like slaves on their own farms? Hello, Oklahoma.
There is not enough documented people here to supply that workforce.
Most of your workers are here illegally.
That's sure. If they got documentation, they got a better job working for me.
Fernando Aldeman, a Mexican national, has worked Smith's farm since 1992. Everybody's just scared.
Yeah. So those farmers really thought black people was going to be back on them farms. Let's talk about it. You know what? At this point, we are allowing the top 1% to do what they do to us, because I don't think nobody in the United States should be offering anybody $11 an hour, 7 days a week, 9 to 10 hours a day. And, you know, the crazy thing is, black people been saying that the only reason why the United States want immigrants here, illegals, is because of cheap labor. And everybody said we were hating because we wasn't hard workers and we were lying and we were jealous. Right there just proves what they were paying, and probably lower, for these undocumented immigrants. America thrives off criminal activity, drugs, and trafficking. We don't have any good minerals and stuff like Africa. So crime helped run this country. You know, how can you become a trillionaire in the United States? Easy. Take your employees' pay. You know, if you know, that CEO from Boeing, if you can get a 45% raise annually, and your lower level employees, 1%, that's how you become a billionaire in the United States. You steal. We have allowed these people to rob us every day, and we do nothing about it. That's why I keep saying that the only way you can stop this type of people is by hurting their pockets. They don't care about the marching. And it's funny how we've had another march, I think, this week in D.C., and that was also not covered. So, see, they're not covering the marches where there's white, Mexicans, and all that. They only want to cover the ones with black people, so they can continue to push the narrative that black people are the most violent people in the world. And we know by now it's not true. Some of y'all are in denial about it, but it's not true. The people that are in control are doing this, and they want us to purge each other. I think it's absolutely insane that, you know, with these farmers, why didn't they reach out to their family members in different states? Hey, I need workers on our farm. Why not call your family? Why not put something online and just say, white workers on the farms? Why? I thought that we all were slaves at some point, right? So why are you just saying black people come back to the farms? You know, so, you know, it's crazy because, like I said, we talk about that racism. You got people saying, oh, black people just making it up. And it's clear as day is that everything that's going on was strategic. They created this whole bad economy because they seen black people leaving the country. They seen black people creating business. They seen black people becoming millionaires due to streaming. And so this is a way to get people back in their place. Nobody wants to work in the system anymore, and they saw that. They saw people not wanting to go into those offices with toxic work environments. They saw all that. And so to hurt the people, we're going to make them suffer financially. We're going to lay them off. We're not going to allow them to have jobs for the next 3 to 4 months. We're going to increase
increase everything around them. So they'll be begging us to get back into the offices. See, the real estate company lost a lot of money when those commercial buildings became vacant. And now I keep saying, it's funny how when everybody that was remote went home after COVID, all the LG&E and water went up. So you can't tell me that everybody is working together at the top. And the farmers got shitted on because what they're trying to do to them is really take their land. They don't want nobody to be able to feed themselves. They don't want nobody to live off the land. In my opinion, United States is really a prison, a floating prison. So I don't know, but the farmers, good luck. And like I said, it looks like they about to take their land. That's what it's looking like to me. A land grab, just like they did a land grab with those fires, just like they doing a land grab with these floods. When the insurance want to drop you, this is all because they do not want us to own anything. And this is why I say, why are we still allowing the top 1% to do the stuff that they doing?
Hey, you know, one more thing about that farm thing. Those farmers complaining about how the Trump's trade war is hurting farms. And not just China, even though China no longer buys U.S. beef, that's gone to Brazil. They no longer buy U.S. soybeans. They don't buy a bunch of other agricultural products from us because they can source them elsewhere. And these farmers are all over these apps whining and crying that they didn't think it would hurt them. And please, Mr. Trump, I voted for you 3 times, and all this kind of bootlicking kind of BS. The other thing about that is, like I said in my other video, excuse me, there's a particular relationship, black people and farms in this country, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. The other thing is, do you remember during the Biden-Harris administration, their administration worked out a settlement with black farmers to pay them back pay for excluding them from bailout money that they were entitled to. The money only went to white farmers, and so black farmers, that's the way it is in this country, had to sue to get their fair share. And after years of court wrangling in the courts and everything, it was finally settled and black farmers were going to get their due. Sorry, my allergies. And you know why they didn't get their due? Sorry about that. Because white farmers sued to block the government settlement that they had made with black farmers. And white farmers sued saying that the white farmers were being discriminated against for not getting some of the black settlement money. The black settlement money was because only white farmers got some of the initial bailout money, not black farmers. That's how twisted it is. So to the white farmers online whining about loss of business, threats to having their farms shut down and shut off, I say, fare thee well, good sirs. Fare thee well. You got what you got. You get what you get. You don't pitch a fit. You voted for Donald Trump, and you know what? He is working you over because the big conglomerates, some I hear I've read are owned by J.D. Vance or his companies, are about to buy up your land for pennies on the dollar. And you're going to be one picking those blueberries for $11 an hour, 7 days a week, for 10 hours a day. Literally, how you like them apples?